Hi everybody! We're so happy to meet all of you digital to our very first online edition of Meet the Startups. And it's a special event because it's a Euregional edition tonight. I'm Magdalena from the Digital Hub team. I'm startup coach here, and tonight I will be here together with Ruslan.
Hey guys, really nice to see you here and really nice that so many people appeared. This is really a special edition, as Magdalena already said. It's not only a regional edition, it's also the first online edition. I'm still a bit sad about it, that we can't see each other in person, that we can't drink together beer, and that we can't smell each other. But we worked really hard in the last weeks to make this event as awesome as possible. So, first of all, Magdalena will explain us some technical details about the Zoom app, and
let's give you the most important technical devices. So in your Zoom meeting, in your profile, there are different buttons. Very important, on the bottom left, there is the sound button. When it comes to the breakout sessions, you will be able to change volume there or to mute yourself. But during the event, you will be muted all the time. So next to it, there's the camera button. This one is very important because we will record the whole event tonight. So if you don't want to be filmed, please switch it off. Of course, we would be happy to see you, but it's up to you if you want to switch it off or leave it on. So a bit further to the right, there is a button where you can see everybody who joined the event. And there you can easily change your name. Just hover over your name, select change, and then you can rename yourself. So it would be very interesting to know which companies are here and which startups. So just put in that name if you want to. So now let's talk about the chat button. The chat will be important for the questions you have to the startups. You can send text messages into the group to everyone, or you can send text messages to selected people. So during the pitches, you will be able to write down your questions. And there are two question fairies in the background, Philly and Larissa, who will select 3 of those questions and ask them to the startups after they pitched. So finally, you can change your view. You can choose between the speaker's view, then you will see me and Ruslan very often tonight, and also the whole program and the startups. Or you could choose the gallery view, then you would see everybody who joined the event. So, I guess that was enough of the technical stuff. Maybe some of you guys did that all before in these Zoom meetings these days. Now I think it's time to see if you're all excited for tonight. So usually I would ask you to shout out loud, but now I want to see your fingers. So give me a 1 if you feel like, I have to go to a kindergarten party. Or if you are very excited about tonight, give me a 5. It will feel like you're going to have the best roller coaster ride in your life. So how do you feel? Oh my God, it's better than I expected. There are 10. I think we have got more hundreds or thousands of fingers there. Great. Ruslan, how do you feel?
I couldn't show it really good, but I also feel 10. I'm a bit
Only
afraid to
10?
spill
Okay.
the beer on me. But when we are talking about beer, so everyone has something to drink in front of them. So please grab your glass of water, please grab your wine, your beer, coffee. It might be a bit late for coffee, and let's cheer up together and make an online toast together. So to make it feel more real.
Yeah.
And drink, don't forget to drink.
To a very nice evening, I guess.
To the best evening ever. So, but why is it the best evening ever? Let me explain what is awaiting you. First of all, we will start with a presentation of Digital Hub and the ACE team. Andy and Larissa will tell about those 2 organizations, so you guys also know what Magdalena and I am doing. Afterwards, we will have a really inspiring and innovative presentation from Gridix, our keynote. I'm really looking forward. Afterwards, the next upcoming stars. So the next startups where we are pretty sure that they will get the unicorns. And this edition is really special, as we told again and again and again, and we will continue saying it. So this is the original edition, so also our partners from Brightlands, from Keske, and from the Corda campus will introduce themselves and their teams. Afterwards, after this whole time of listening, you will have the chance to talk as well. You will get into small breakout sessions where you are in smaller groups and can talk with the startups. More details will be explained a little bit later.
Well, for you, maybe interesting to know is that some of the startups came here yesterday to record their pitches, and we will see what was happening yesterday in the video pitches. And some other guys will pitch with a shared screen live. So yeah, it will be a mixture of everything tonight. But I think we should start with the welcome videos from Digital Hub and ACE. So Andy Dreger will start. He's the incubation manager at the Digital Hub startup team, and I'm pretty sure that his second home is our co-working space. So let's see what he wants to tell us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you. Our colleagues are live for you on stage at the Digital Church. But where are they actually? What is the Digital Church and why we make this event today? The Digital Church is a co-working space from the Digital Hub Aachen, located in an old church. And it's the place to be if you are a startup and you are looking for the best community, coaching, mentoring, or matchmaking with SMEs, or just to attend incredible events like this today. But let me tell you a little story why I find it so important to make this event, to make this Euregio event today. A few months ago, we had a pitching event, and one startup from us, a bicycle startup, pitched the idea. And they were looking for potential customers around Aachen. For example, Cologne, Düsseldorf, Bonn, whatever. And one guy in the audience from the Netherlands stand up and say, "Are you kidding me? Great idea, but please take a look 10 kilometers away from here across the border. I'm pretty sure there could be an interesting market." And that's the thing. I'm pretty sure too that the Netherlands is an interesting market for a bicycle startup. But there's still a stop sign in our mind. Even though there are big advantages like market access or the exchange with different cultures. My name is Andy. I'm responsible for our startups, and I ask you to kick the stop sign out of your mind and out of your daily business. Let's change something. Have a great evening, and special thanks to our partners, to our Euregio partners like ACE, Keske, Brightlands, and Corda campus. Take care, everybody.
Well, thank you, Andy, for your nice video. The next one comes from Larissa. She's head of the Human Resources team at ACE, and you can also see her at ACE TV on Instagram. So now let's have a look at her greetings.
A very warm welcome also from ACE. I'm Larissa, and I want to introduce our organization. We are a student initiative. We are the interface between startups and students. Our goal is to strengthen and to promote the culture of entrepreneurship in Aachen. And we do this by actively shaping the Aachener startup scene. Firstly, through our workshops. In our Skill Factory, we offer startup-related workshops by and for our members. Secondly, through our projects, like the Tech Nights, where we build and develop one product in one night. Another example would be Wickeltisch, our podcast, where we will celebrate tomorrow our first spin-off from ACE. Thirdly, we have events, like today. A few years ago, we had an event where we had, due to a lack of speakers, had to pivot and gave startups the chance to promote their startups. Meet the Startups was born. And it was so successful that we are now here with our great partners, the Digital Hub Aachen, Corda Campus, Brightlands, and Keske, and developed together the original versions. I wish us a pleasant evening and nice questions and an interesting exchange. Thank you.
Thank you, Larissa. Thank you, Andy. My favorite motto for startups is, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. Why so? As a startup, you have a really strong message. You have a really strong mission. You are really motivated, but that's all you have. You don't have enough money, you don't have enough connections, you don't have enough experience. You're just in the beginning. So you have to find creative and new ways to cry out your message really loud. This is the reason I'm really in love with Gridix and how they did it in their first years. The second thing is why I'm really glad to see them here tonight is that the founders of them were former members of ACE. So we have a success story which is growing bigger, bigger and bigger, and we are really glad to see what happens in the next years. Also, it's something for us that we are really proud of, to see our work getting some fruits. The third point is, when I was preparing the speech, I just Googled them, went on Google News and printed in Gridix. So, and then I found out, hey, these guys were last year one of the 100 most innovative startups of Germany. This year, these guys are nominated one of the 100 most innovative startups in the energy sector worldwide. So we have a really big fish here, and I'm really glad to introduce Andy from Gridix and hear his story, hear what he has to say.
Thank you, Ruslan, for the nice introduction. Thanks a lot. I hope you can all hear me now. Perfect. Excited to be here tonight. I will share my screen, my presentation. Ruslan, you already announced that we are former ACE members, and I wanted to take the chance to tell the story of I went from an ACE startup to a multi-million venture-backed startup. Extremely excited to be here tonight to have the keynote with all of you. How I would like to structure the 20 minutes we have together is give you a little bit more insight about the founding story of Gridix, approximately 10 minutes of how we started Gridix, built Gridix, scaled Gridix. 3 key learnings I think I want to share with every one of you excited in startups and aspiring entrepreneurs. And also we will have time for some questions left, 5 minutes, but of course you can always get in touch with me after that as well. And maybe to give a quick introduction about Gridix, thanks Ruslan, you already took over the bragging for me, so I don't have to brag about awards and stuff, but to start a little bit smaller, we are Smart Energy IoT, were founded in mid-2000. I know already a lot of buzzwords in that first line of what we do, but I will come to that in a second. We are a little bit more than 40 people by now, have offices in Aachen, Munich, and in Silicon Valley, raised our seed and Series A round with major VCs, and extremely happy and proud that leading European companies are our customers and partners today. And how was Gridix actually started? So on the right side in this picture is David. David is my co-founder. And we met via ACE, and in late 2014, I believe, we joined one of the first meetings of ACE and became friends over time and exchanged ideas of what we could do to found a startup, and we're always extremely interested in becoming an entrepreneur, being independent from everyone else, and starting as a very creative people, starting something from the ground up and really something groundbreaking new. And we didn't really have the right idea. We bounced back on 3 or 4 ideas for quite some time, and then we concentrated on studies for roughly half a year, and then we decided to go on a buddy trip through Ecuador, and that was in late 2015. And what we experienced was an amazing trip together, and we had lots of great memories from that trip. But we also experienced that the grid infrastructure, especially in Southern America, is extremely experimental. So at one of the blackouts where we really didn't have any power at all, we saw that some people were climbing up that house that you see on the left side, and they were somehow connecting cables on the roof. And we didn't really, though engineers background ourselves, we didn't know really what they were doing. And we saw that they were somehow connecting solar panels on that roof. And somehow, even me as an electrical engineering student didn't realize at that point how that even worked, but somehow they get power to that house running. And people were going there and putting stuff in the refrigerator and so on. And that really basically brought us back to Germany, where we thought, well, how is renewable energy actually working in Germany? Of course, we know there's a lot of Energiewende stuff, and Germans were like pioneers in that field. And we really like were hyped by the topic of how it worked in Ecuador. Wanted to understand how it works in Germany, in a really well-developed country. And we learned that in Germany we have like 1.6 million solar panels and solar installations installed. That's roughly 3 nuclear power plants. The grid is not really all that renewable energy, and still we saw that the energy system was moving from a centralized power plant system with lots of coal, more to a decentralized energy system with lots of different generators, consumers. So we have a lot of PV systems, wind farms, we have biogas plants, but we also have decentralized energy systems that consume energy, like electric vehicles. And we realized that megatrends in Europe, but also worldwide, is basically 3 things in the energy industry. It's in rising energy demand. We consume more and more energy. We have a strong electrification of all sectors. So we really see basically mobility going electric, heating going electric, of course, then generation going more decentralized, and as basically every industry, digitization, automation of that industry. And over time, led us to the vision that in the future, all devices will be connected and need to be optimized for a sustainable energy future. So we really need to be able to manage all those energy flows and manage all those small energy transactions. And over time became our vision of what we wanted to do. What we wanted to do is we will be the provider and the platform to connect and optimize all those distributed energy devices. And what that looks today is that we have a lot of distributed energy resources. That's like the more scientific terms, but it's basically solar installations, it's home battery storage, it's electric cars, it's heat pumps, fuel cells, a lot of different distributed energy resources that get connected via a small little box and all go to one centralized energy platform, which we call Xenon. And in the end, we provide this as dashboards and management interfaces to be able to handle all of those different energy flows. Of course, this isn't really how GridX, and GridX started right after we, from when we were like super motivated, and we applied for an Exist Gründer Stipendium. We had awards. I think this is AC.E in Aachen, the first award. We basically were able to found the GmbH, the official company, with a business angel from Google, from Silicon Valley. He really believed in the idea he had, and quite fun fact, he really transferred the 25,000 euros on our student account, and we had the Bundesbank, the federal bank, call us and asking if we were like into money laundering or anything, because he really believed in the team and in us and in the idea. And he was so confident we didn't really have any paperwork signed or anything. He just transferred the money and get going. And he's still a great mentor to this day. Extremely happy. And of course, during that time, we were extremely hyped to be in that extremely old industry. So the energy industry is really not digitized or innovative or anything. And we really believed we as students or as Finnish students, graduates, we could go in that market and really change everything overnight. And of course, it's not how it goes then. It's a lot of work, especially in the regulated market. But I can really feel the energy we had back then, working day in, day out, just for that one goal of changing that whole industry. Then after basically we had the first funding from Exist and basically secured our basic money we needed. We had money to fund the official company, the GmbH, and then we really went into building our first IoT device. And some people that are into hardware development will see there's like an Arduino, really plugging it all together, literally with tape to put it all together. And we believe this would be basically our first device to convince traditional VCs and investors to invest in GridX. And of course, then this was also our first real investors pitch, because we came to that point where the product was maturing and could actually be produced and could actually be used. And that was right before our first investors pitch in Berlin. Must have been something of end of 2016 or fall 2016, with our first dashboard where it could basically show all the energy flows and so on. We were really soldering and coding, I think, late until the morning to get it done. And we were, now it switched from becoming extremely hyped over the month building up to this point to extremely nervous, because we had never done like any pitch before, like any company before, where you were used to doing pitches and presentations. And we learned fast. We failed a lot, so we did a lot of stuff wrong, but some things really led to basically the product looking what it is today, similar to or basically inspired by the Apple TV. We built this IoT device to really connect to any energy device out there as a plug and play system. And we also then realized, okay, we have the production ready, we have the first money, but we now also need to somehow get the message out. And how do you do that as a new startup, as an energy company? And we decided we would try the term that we read in certain, or in a lot of startup books, guerrilla marketing. And we basically booked a guy from Hamburg with his van, and he has like this super laser in the back of his van. And we went to Tihange in Belgium, one of the worst nuclear power plants there is in Europe. And we basically beamed our slogans, stop Tihange, turn on GridX, and so on, to really start that new energy revolution. Beamed that on the tower, and that worked well for, I believe, 12 minutes it was, up until the police showed on the spot and wanted to arrest us and take us to prison and so on. We were lucky. And the outcome was that we were in all big newspapers and television stuff, on radio and so on. And I think we sold our first 100 grid boxes to customers that wanted to try out the flow management. Extremely pumped. Producing that all in the Start Lab, which was an institution from the Gründerzentrum. And then also we gained our first seed round. That was in the beginning of 2017. Really inspired by that first traction, got some institutional investors to invest in GridX. We got even more bold. So at a certain point, David and me, we were like super hyped, and we basically really believed with that technology, we can become Europe's largest energy supplier and Europe's biggest energy supplier. And of course, we knew, and that's also one of the learnings I will share at the end of the presentation. If you are in a VC-backed business, you always have to oversell a little bit here and there, and also make press for yourself. But we got a lot of people that really supported us and said, well, a great way to go, but also a lot of people that say, well, you guys are nuts, and none of this is going to happen. And it happened, and it worked quite well, and we got a lot of customers. We raised our Series A roughly 1 year after the seed financing round. And during the time, we also realized that a lot of leading energy companies, so B2B business, were interested in our solutions and what we are doing. And we also realized that scaling to millions of customers is a really money or cash intensive business model. And our strength was really more in the technology. And that's why we shifted from B2C business model to B2B business model. I think that's something that you see quite often in the startup sphere. And that's still our business model today, providing our technology platform for other B2B customers to deploy those solutions to commercial and residential customers. And so typical products that we sell today on our platform, on the one hand, independent home products. That's really for customers that have their own solar panels at home, have their own electric car, their own battery storage or electric heating. And then on the other hand, smart charging, that is more for fleet operators. You can think of large logistics companies or larger car parks that basically want to be able to charge electric vehicles, but the grid infrastructure is just not sufficient for that. And we solve that problem by running algorithms on the grid load and then on the building, and to see how fast and how much we can still charge. And how that looks then is, for example, Fissmann as one of our customer uses that as a white label solution. We provide the whole platform and technology to really get deep insights in real time into all the energy flows and make sure that most of the energy that's being produced at home is also consumed at home. And that saves the end customer around 30 to 40% of his energy bill. And then also one product we did with Euregio, that's one of the car parks. You have all those different car chargers, 52 in one car park, and it needs to be managed of who can charge how much, and that's also done by our technology stack. Moving from that part more to the 3 key learnings that I want to share. The first one is really decide what kind of entrepreneur you want to be when you start your business. And I think that's the most underrated thing to do in the beginning. And we ourselves underestimated the question to really see, do I want to be a VC-backed high growth startup, or do I want to build something that has tremendous value from the beginning and is more bootstrapped and takes maybe a little bit longer to reach a certain threshold in terms of revenue or employees or something, but it's really grown from an organic basis. And I really believe that there's no way in between. It's really binary in the end. And especially when starting out with maybe a bigger founding team, if you're 2 or 3 or 4 people, I would really sit together and take a lot of time and really try to answer that question, because the requirements VC, venture capitalists or other institutional investors will put on you are a lot different than if you have business angels that just want to help you with the business, help you basically get everything from the ground and really grow organically. And also in terms of what growth KPIs you need to show in terms of how to communicate to the press and so on, it's a lot different in a VC-backed business. And I don't think there's any rating or any value behind being a VC-backed startup versus a bootstrap startup. I think both can be great. It's just that VC-backed startups sometimes need a lot longer if they can convince venture capitalists to give them more money to really find product market fit, or really find is my company really solving a problem. And I think that's what a lot of us see with Uber, with WeWork, a lot of devaluation happening because the business model is just not sound enough right now, and especially in crisis, extremely hard to maintain. So really, I would like to decide what kind of entrepreneur you want to be. I think there's no good or bad in that question. Just decide it for yourself and follow your heart in doing that. Second thing, especially, but I think true for everyone, but we experienced that if you're a VC-backed startup, and I think the whole startup scene is centered around that, making an exit or making an IPO or getting an extremely large financing round is often celebrated as a success. We ourselves, we don't necessarily see it that way. It's of course a nice outcome, but for us, like the right to all of this, and growing as a human being, growing as a business person, growing as a friend, growing as a team leader, and having a lot of fun, making mistakes, of course, along the way, but being able to correct them in an independent way, and really enjoying the time with the team, and building the team and building the product. And looking back the past 5 years, the most memorable moments have always been together with other people from the team. And especially just to share one impression, we do regular team weeks where we really take 1 week off. This was last week in, sorry, not last week, last year in the Netherlands on the North Sea. We rented 2 large farmhouses, went with the whole team. And that's really a spirit, being productive, but also sharing low time with each other, and spare time was extremely memorable. And I will never forget all those moments I had with the whole team. And the motivation you have after that, and the alignment is just clarity. It's just amazing. And that's what we will now do every year, take the whole team and go somewhere. Third thing, and I think then I'm mostly done with my time and up with my time. I really believe and genuinely believe startups are extremely hard. You need to embrace the pain. You need to want to have the challenge. You will have low times. We had nights where we didn't know, just like the traditional founding story, where we didn't know if we could pay salaries because the new investment round wasn't closed yet. I had to put in a lot of private money to get it going. You will need to let people go. You will have sleepless nights when you don't know if it's like the right way to approach. And I'm a competitive guy, so I like basically the pain and the challenges, but it's really part of the startup DNA, and I think it's extremely hard. I cherish every startup founder I meet taking the leap and going forward. It's a really worthy journey, but it's also extremely hard. And it's not sometimes as easy as it might look on Gründerszene or TechCrunch or something. It's extremely hard, and yeah, enjoy the ride along it. I think that's my 3 learnings from the past 4 to 5 years. I hope you enjoyed some insights from Gridex. If you have further questions, I'm extremely happy to answer them now, or also, of course, after that.
Great, Andy. Thank you a lot for your time. And it's really interesting because every time I see your pitches or Gridex pitches, I learn a bit more about the story, and there are new fun facts which appear. Also, thank you a lot about the learning. So let's go for the first time this evening to our question fairies and to their questions. Yay!
So hi guys, my name is Felicia. I am from Digital Hub Aachen, and I am going to pick 3 questions you hopefully posted into the chat and read them out to the speakers. So if you have any questions, please post them into the chat now. I can't see any so far. Okay, so there's a question from Wesley Naus. I hope I spell it right. What is one thing you would have done differently, Andy?
Yeah, I would have done a market research a lot better than we have done. We thought energy, huge market, 500 billion, large. It's great to go into it. It's a highly regulated market. You need lots of basically contacts and so on to get in that industry, and to change something really, really slow market. I would have done more market research before starting in that market.
Thank you. Next question. How do you see the Corona effect on your business?
So since we are now a B2B startup, we traditionally have longer sales cycles from 6 to 12 months. So it's a little bit shifted. Personally, we wanted to hire, I think, 12 new people this year. We have done a complete hiring stop up until now to basically be more cash conservative. and we have first customers that are not, basically not prolonging projects or projects that were in the deal pipeline for the past 3 months that where we were extremely confident that we will get the contract are now being cancelled. So I think there are a lot of businesses worse off than us, but we will have a pretty severe impact also on our business.
Thanks. And last question. What are your competitors in the market?
Yeah, so competitors are from different sections. So especially from the e-mobility section, there are a lot of startups coming purely from an e-mobility market-driven approach. I can name a few: Mobility House, Kiwi Grid from Dresden. We have seen extremely large companies like Google go in the residential market with products like Nest and other solutions. So really from all corners and in every subsection there are a lot of competitors, and it's a tough market because it's such a huge market and huge market opportunity. As I said, 500 billion large the market, so lots of competition, and we really believe that the difference will be made in the technology and how you bring it to the customer in the end.
Okay, I think as we're very good in time, we have time for one more question. What were the main criteria which made investors believe in your company?
Yeah, definitely team. It's especially hard. I also got that question as a private chat if Gridx was my first startup, and yes, it was my first startup and our first startup, David's as well, right after university. And it's especially hard to show something that you made before. I mean, if I would send out my CV today and needed a job, it wouldn't look that rosy for me because there's no impressive CV behind it. I think it's really then how you approach the investors, and what kind of first impression you make, and then after you have several meetings, if you keep up with your promises, do you deliver the materials, how well they're delivered? We often found that investors are extremely smart people, and they have a really good sense for social intelligence and emotional intelligence. So they will, if you try and act to be different than you are, then they will probably not trust you. And trust in the team, especially in the seed and Series A phase, is probably the most important thing in my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'm giving back to Ruslan and Magdalena.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Felicia. Thank you a lot, Andy, for your time, for the great insights, and for the great answers to the questions.
So I guess now it's time for the Aachen area startups to pitch their ideas. They will have 3 minutes, and you will have 3 questions to ask them later in the chat. So, but before that, I want to share a quote with you from Paul Graham. You need 3 things to create a successful startup. 1, to start with good people, to make something customers actually really want, and to spend as little money as possible. Ruslan, do you agree with that?
I totally agree with you. Good. I saw a lot teams fail, I saw a lot startups fail. And this actually were the main 3 reasons. The team didn't work out, the product hadn't any market fit, or they just didn't care enough about the money. So they cared about it, but they didn't give it this high priority. So as we continue with the first startup from Aachen, as a man, I have a question to you. What's going on in the mind of a woman?
I won't tell you everything, but I can tell you a little something. So, because every girl asks herself many questions in her life, and I'm sure that one of those is, how do I find my perfect bra? So how good that our next startup will answer exactly this question. BraU used to be part of our last incubation program at the Digital Hub and was also guest at AC.E. And tonight, Melanie, who's one of the co-founders, will show us the whole idea in her video pitch now.
Hello, I'm Melanie from BraU, and we at BraU are convinced that all tits are good tits. Let me tell you one thing. Bra shopping right now is a disaster. You have to go to a store like this, try to find something that you like, then you go to the changing room and realize it doesn't fit, and then a shop assistant tells you, well, we don't have anything in your size. And because bra shopping isn't really easy, 8 out of 10 women are wearing an ill-fitting bra every single day. This can lead to uncomfort. And I assume there might be quite a few men listening right now to this presentation. And let me tell you one thing. Just imagine you're walking all day in a pair of shoes that doesn't really fit. You don't really want that. And because bra shopping isn't easy, online returns are up to 75%, which causes a lot of unnecessary CO2 emissions and costs. Well, we at BRU decided to fix these issues with our platform. We developed a smart fit quiz that can understand the individual breast and body needs to find the right bra for every single person. Let me tell you how we are actually making money with this technology. Right now, we are operating in a B2C business model. This means we are targeting end customers, get them on our platform, they do our fit quiz, and then we recommend the right fitting bras for them. And when they buy something, we get a provision for that. In the long run, however, we want to monetize our technology with other businesses and license their technology and integrate it in large online stores so we can reach as many people as possible and help them find bras that really fit to their body. Our vision is perfectly fitting underwear for everyone from everywhere. We are not at the beginning of our journey. We already gathered a lot of traction. We had a large test round at the end of last year where we achieved a net promoter score of 51, which is really, really high. We lowered returns by 33% in comparison to the industry standard. And we had a really high conversion rate. In addition to that, we were already featured in several press media, and we already achieved several awards and got the Gründerstipendium NRW. We are a team of 4 people, my co-founder Lea and myself. We have a background in other startups, finance and consulting, and we are supported by 2 people, a full stack developer and somebody who's really, really good at marketing. We are looking for angel investors who want to change bra shopping with us. Additionally, we are looking for press and influencers and corporations with other e-commerce businesses, so we can unfuck bra shopping together.
Nice pitch, and it was really great to see BRU growing also through the incubation program. Melanie, you are here now live in the question round, and I think it's time to go to the question fairies and see what's there in the chat.
Hi, I'm Larissa from ACE, and I will ask the next questions. Are there new questions? Yes. Firstly, thank you, Melanie, for your pitch. It was great to listen. The first question is, when do you launch?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I thought you assigned Leah as co-host. Well, thank you for asking that question when we are going to launch. Actually, the people that subscribe to our newsletter will have received an email about an hour ago because we are finally live.
That's great news. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So maybe you can post the link later in the chat so we can all click on it and find you easily.
Yes, please.
I have the next question. Who are your current competitors?
So there are actually 2 other startups in Europe who are trying to develop a very similar technology, who are focusing on online bra fitting. But to be honest, they are quite at the beginning of their journey as well. So one of them hasn't even launched yet, and the other one, I think there are some other challenges that they are facing right now. So the actual real competitors right now are brick and mortar stores, so actual stores where you go into and you have shop assistants that are helping you. But they obviously are facing some challenges right now due to Corona. And it's actually a very intimate and personal shopping item, and not everybody wants to get help from somebody in a store that they might not know. And the large online retailers, we don't really see them as our competitors, rather as our partners, because we are in a cooperation with them right now. And they are not offering any help with finding the right item for your body. So they're actually really benefiting from our service.
Thank you. And a question on top of that, what's your value proposition you are trying to differentiate from competitors?
I think the main difference that we have is that our fit quiz is really, really, really easy and simple. So everybody who's already tried it out, we always got the feedback that you can really understand our questions and it's, it's easy to answer. Whereas our competitors are taking a slightly more sophisticated approach in terms of how many dimensions they are taking into account when recommending the right bra for the individual body. However, that makes it way more complicated and it takes way longer to get all the answers. And at least so far, our customers have all been really, really happy. So I think we managed to really streamline the way how we are gathering their information and, matching it with the right results. We are really good at that.
So there are so many questions. Please don't forget them because later in the question session, your breakout session, you have the time to ask them all. One last question. Do you have contacts to the Netherlands? Björn is asking. So do you?
Not to the Netherlands actually, but we would quite like to because there are some large lingerie retailers.
Okay, so maybe you can connect later in the breakout sessions, then you can make some contacts. That would be great. So back to Magdalena and Ruslan. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really glad to introduce the next startup. 1 year ago, I received a call. So, hey, dude, we're coming to Aachen and we're a startup. And can you tell us something about the startup scene in Aachen, about the ecosystem, people we have to know, and what can we do? So now, 1 year passed. The product is completely different. The people who were then all about Europe, in Paris, in Switzerland, in Barcelona, are still here in Aachen. So I think it's a really big win for us as an ecosystem that we can keep these people, keep these really excellent people here in the city. So I don't want to tell too much because the name of the startup is TLDV, so too long, didn't view. I think it's there now. Raphael.
Hey everybody, we are super excited to be here at Meet the Startups again. I'm Raphael, the co-founder of TLDV. TLDV stands for Too Long Didn't View, and I think we all know currently what it is to be in lengthy Zoom meetings all the time. And actually, remote companies already have that problem since a long, long time. What they usually do is they record most of their team meetings to share them with those that are in different time zones or were simply too busy to join live. However, these videos have like one problem and they're incredibly hard to consume because you don't know what's really relevant in the video for you. And we are the first solution with TLDV that makes this process really easy for you. You can invite our email to any of your meeting providers, such as Google Meet, such as WebEx, such as Microsoft Teams, and you can use the chat to annotate the most important moments, add a description, tag a colleague directly, and we do the rest. It's really live, it's really easy, and you can just rely on us to integrate this seamlessly into the meeting productivity tools that you're already using. And not stopping there, we will build a whole suite for your enterprise. We can basically be your repository so that all information, even from long past meetings, can be refound again quickly and emotionally. I don't need to tell you much about the market. It's really big. We all are sitting at home right now in video conferences. However, be ensured that we have big ambitions to capture a large part of this market. If we look at the competition, it's hot right now. It's really important to notice that we're the only provider that is video first, which means that we capture the emotions and how things are said, that we're actually really easy to be integrated into any tool that you're using, so we can capture the entire market, and we do it during the live meeting, so there's no additional effort for you. One important impact is also that we're doing manual human set highlighting, which creates accountability loops for the people that set the highlights and those that need to consume them. If we look at what we've achieved since January when we started, it's quite a bit, and we're really proud of that. We're already working with digital leading companies such as Buffer on a weekly basis. We're learning from them and developing a killer product together with them, and some of them already started paying for this solution. We have a long way ahead of us, but our team can really provide this amazing tool to the market. We already know each other, we're very complementary. We're also remote, so Alan sits actually in France and Carlo and myself are in Aachen. And we've been working together since 1.5 years, so we're really confident that we can bring the value that our investors expect and also the clients deserve. We just closed our round of with Seedcamp, a leading seed fund in Europe, and some additional amazing investors. So now we have 1.5 years of runtime to bring this amazing product to all of you. And what I would like to say to the entire audience, we're super open to discuss with you how we can provide value to your company and learn together with you. And we would like to finish with saying one thing to you. This is our dream. We want to become the go-to solution if you're busy, if you have a lot of meetings. So do not hesitate to contact us on LinkedIn or directly via the Digital Hub Aachen network to set up the first test meeting with us. We can't wait to help you become more productive, yet emotionally connected everywhere you are at all times. Thank you.
Thank you for a great pitch, and congratulations for your first funding round. So, I will give it back to the question fairies. I hope the question fairies are prepared and excited to ask some good questions.
So here's the first question. How do you decide what the important part of video is?
I think, first of all, I forgot it a bit. Raphael, can you hear it?
Hey, now I can, I think. Yes, perfect.
Great, thank you.
So can you repeat the question? I was super busy unmuting myself.
Okay, so the question is, how do you decide what the important part of the video is?
Yeah, it's actually pretty simple because it's like the same mechanic that you have actually when you're talking to a colleague that informs you about a meeting that you weren't part of in live. So usually these people will tell you it's 1, 2, 3 key points that you missed in the meeting, and that's actually the same dynamic that we replicate. And I would just like to invite you to try it out for yourself, because for all our customers, this hasn't been any issue so far to determine that. And also one thing to mention is we also enable to set the highlights after they happen with a simple minus sign. So you can even tag the last minute or so. So even when you learn after, no problem, you can always still tag it and have it.
Okay, second question from my colleague Jan Müller. Hello. What is the main difference between the Aachen ecosystem and other startup ecosystems you experienced?
So yeah, the big difference is I think that here everything is still growing. So it's not as mature as other cities, and that's causing more hungry founders. Now it's back. I'm sorry. And basically the people are more hungry here, I think. And then the close RWTH and the technical university nearby ensures that there's a lot of tech talent that can also help get these products to the market in a sustainable way.
Okay, and last question. What's your USP, unique selling point, and how do you manage to pull it up with respect to your customers?
Mm-hmm. I think our USP is easy integratability. So basically we can work with any meeting provider and basically with really simple commands, and we integrate back with your with the tools that you're already using. So we're pretty much invisible and really useful, bridging the gap between the live meetings and your asynchronous knowledge transferring tools. And as we're talking to remote companies that already have a lot of problems trying to replicate what we are solving, it's pretty easy to communicate this value to them as well.
Great. I think if you want to meet Raphael and Carlo face to face after all this is over, you can just come to the Digital Church, because they are here nearly always. And they are always two very happy faces you can see. So don't miss to meet them here live. So our next team is Booking Buddy. We from the Digital Hub Aachen are already one of their clients, and we are up to use their nice system for booking our meeting rooms in the Digital Church. So how it works and what's behind their idea, Simeon Holtwiesche will tell us in his own recorded video.
Hi guys, what's up? My name is Simeon Holtwiesche and I'm co-founder of Booking Buddy. Let's dive in our pitch. So lay back and enjoy the show. But what is Booking Buddy? Booking Buddy is a digital tool which enables everybody to manage bookings and rent resources. So you're wondering why the hell they built a product to simplify bookings? Yeah, that's because there are 3 big problems in the market. First of all, we see the problem that there are a lot of unused resources. For example, if a company owns a lot of rooms, Sometimes they don't rent them to external parties because it's too complicated. Well, the second problem is that if you don't use a tool to manage your resources, you will have double entries. Another problem is the high complexity in the industry. We noticed, for example, that our customers want to rent rooms. They also want to combine those rentals with additional options like catering or even some coffees. They also want to book any other item like a beamer or flip chart which is booked in conjunction with the room. We thought about a solution and guess what? We got one. A universal and intuitive platform which allows offering resources, for example rooms, people, equipment and services, to be easily booked online. We see here Tom and Leah. Tom wants to rent his office. After he added his office to our platform, shoots some pretty photos and putting his availabilities for the office in our system, Leah is able to book it anytime and anywhere. That's how we make Tom happy. We did the whole work for him, the involve, the management and the landing page with photos. But how can we achieve that? This is only possible with the best startup team in the whole universe. I don't have time to introduce everybody right now, but please hit us up in the end of the meeting and it would be a pleasure for us to give you a live demo from Booking Buddy, and that is your opportunity to learn more about our system and dive deeper into our features. See you there. Thank you very much for your attention. Don't forget to head over to booking-buddy.de.
Great. I guess I've never seen such a relaxed video of somebody pitching. So, yeah, if you haven't been relaxed now, everybody's watching this, I think you should be relaxed now after this pitch. So I give to the question fairies now, and let's see what's in the chat.
So I'm very relaxed, that's right. And I'm very excited for your questions. That's such a nice tool. So just write down your questions. I have some. So I'll start with my questions. Which other use cases can be applied besides room booking?
Thank you for your question, Larissa. So I'm answering our questions now. I'm Lucian, also a co-founder of Booking Buddy. And besides renting rooms online, you could also offer services simply by adding them to our system. You could use our resource system to easily add you as an employee or staff member as a resource, and then add services, for example, haircuts or coachings and so on. So it's a very versatile platform and can be applied to many, many use cases.
Great, thank you, Lucian. Another question is from Freddy. Is it an addition to Event Buddy or did you pivot?
No, it's an independent company. So currently we are focusing on this area because events are obviously not trending right now. But we are also working on Event Buddy, so it's a shared team. Yeah. So we used a lot of experience we gathered while developing Event Buddy to boost Booking Buddy within only a few months to a full featured platform. Maybe one quick sentence, what is Event Buddy? Event Buddy is another company which is founded by a subset of our team, which enables everybody to organize events online and to sell their tickets easily. So we come to our last question, back to Booking Buddy. And this is what's the product look like? Web? Yeah, so the whole platform is web-based, but we also offer progressive web apps. So it's a mobile-first experience wherever you're using the platform. So yeah, it's very universal. Thank you, Lucian. No problem. Thanks. Back to Rosland.
Thank you. As we all grow older, our backs get worse and worse. At some point, we realize it and say, okay, let's do some sport. Let's do something great for our body. But as human as we are, we do a lot wrong. We break more stuff than we actually heal. So our next guest will show you how he, as an engineer, can solve this problem of the hurting back during sports.
Hi, I'm Roland von Fitstrap. Fitstrap is a fitness system for training and posture and your legal tech doping. We all know this problem. We spend an enormous time in front of our computer, as we are doing right now. To balance this out, we exercise. While exercising, there is one question that comes to our mind. Am I training correctly? Well, you don't know until you ask someone who knows. So you have the option to go to a trainer. But a personal trainer is expensive, time and place bound, and their quality varies due to their focus and education. We from Fitstrap tackled this problem and gathered tons of information about exercises, the right execution and posture from sources like physiotherapists, trainers, and the Sporthochschule Köln. All this led to 4 core elementary indicators of exercises: the user's posture, the weight, the range of motion, and the time on attention. We from Fitstrap find a technical way to monitor these 4 elementary parts. The result is Fitstrap. Fitstrap consists of 3 elements: a sensor, an app, and a software. And how does Fitstrap work? Before training, the sensor is simply attached to the user's back. During the training, it measures the 4 elementary and 7 more indicators, and more importantly, provides real-time haptic feedback to the user. After the training, the user can monitor his progress and suggestions for improvement in our app. Additionally, the software provides advanced information and analysis tools to trainers and therapists. Our core value propositions are safe training, with real-time haptic feedback to prevent the users from wrong exercise executions. Database training, we collect all data during training to provide a basis for continuous improvement. And self-sufficient and affordable training. Fitstrap is always and everywhere available, 24/7, on a business trip, at home, or even on holiday. We want to establish Fitstrap as a standard tool within the fitness and healthcare industry to measure movements, create training plans, monitor the user's successes remotely, motivate them, and if necessary, adapt their training plans to the actual user's needs. So step by step, Fitstrap becomes the coach. To achieve this, our founding team combines a strong technical and business background. Larissa, our business developer, Kianosh, our software engineer, and me, Roland, the hardware expert. Now we need you to spread our vision to Fitstrap from Aachen to Germany to Europe and the world.
Thank you for your pitch and your presentation. As I'm standing here, my back already starts to hurt. So I really can't wait to get your product into my hands. So for the next questions, I hope, Kianosh, can you already hear me? Yeah, okay, thumb up, great. So, question fairy, are you there as well?
Yes, I am.
Cool.
So I'm going to start with the first question. Is your product already on the market?
The product is currently not on the market. We are doing tests with some of our partners and some of our friends. So they're right now testing our device, and we gather the data, analyze it, put it into PDFs, and send it to them to send them the analysis. This way we can learn at the moment, but yeah, it's currently not on the market, on the official market, no.
Okay, next question. Are you B2B or B2C focused?
Yeah, that's a good question. We start in the direction of B2B, where we rather work with therapists, coaches, and so on. So we have a leverage in learning more about how they provide and create the training. This way we can improve our algorithms and then help the individual user, which we want to sell our product also to, better. So by learning on the B2B side, we can get better on the B2C side. But in the end, we want to go into both directions.
Okay, and last question from David Rahn from the NRV Bank, one of our sponsors. Shout out to you. What kind of business angel or investor are you looking for?
That's a good question. So it should be an investor that actually should be in the realm of fitness and therapy, and should have like a clue of what we are working on and what we want to work to. So we are all about good posture, good habits, and trying to get good technology into this whole therapy universe. So if there's an investor who could support us with this idea of making FitStrap a new standard tool within the industry, that would be the right investor.
Okay, thanks Kianusz for answering all the questions, and back to the studio.
Thanks.
Thank you, Philly, and thank you, Kianusz. Yeah, great. So we're excited what's going to happen with your app. Besides our digital hub in Aachen, there are 5 more hubs in whole North Rhine-Westphalia. They are based in Cologne, in Münster, in Bonn, in Düsseldorf, and in Bochum. So all hubs form a large community with a unique network together. Tonight, the startup Bottom Up City from Münster is our guest. So Bottom Up City develops tools and communities for the smart city of tomorrow. The team will show us what's behind the idea tonight. So they have recorded a self-made video, and they will do it on their own in the Zoom meeting. So they will start it by themselves now.
From Bottom Up City, and today I'm going to show to you how we are planning to revolutionize urban development. So let's have a look into the presentation. And let's get right to it. This is Berlin in the 90s, and this is how Berlin looks today. But this phenomenon of rapid neighborhood improvement does not only happen in Berlin, but pretty much everywhere in the world. This effect takes place in a very similar fashion every time. First, you start with a structurally weak neighborhood which has low land prices. Then you get an influx of young creatives, so-called pioneers, which start new projects and initiatives, which then sparks a continuous self-enforcing process of improvement in the area. And all of a sudden, Berlin is still poor, but sexy. So what's the problem with this Berlin effect? Well, up to today, in urban planning, we do not have proper data about these pioneer groups, let alone a direct marketing channel into this community. And that means that even today, the Berlin effect is very hard to predict and control. This means for cities oftentimes very inefficient development interventions, for the real estate industry missed investment opportunities, and for retailers unprofitable location choices. And exactly this is our mission. We are turning the Berlin effect into a reliable tool for urban development. And this means that our core activity is to create data and channels to pioneer activities and communities. So how are we going about this? First, we collect geodata from existing sources from the internet, which provide evidence for pioneer activities, like locations of certain events or projects and so on. With this data, we can then develop spatial indices like a pioneer monitor, which identifies future hotspots of pioneer activities. In the meantime, we're creating our own pages and services on existing social media sites, like an Instagram channel for cool projects or a Facebook page for the latest community events. This way, we can build up so-called custom audiences where you can address pioneers directly. With these data and channels, we then establish our own platforms like a national pioneer platform and local neighborhood development platforms for cities. This way, we are able to successively create our own exclusive data sources and marketing channels for pioneer activities and communities. To monetize these values, we are offering services in 4 major categories: neighborhood platforms for local development, a national and someday international pioneer platform, development forecasting with our Pioneer Monitor, and marketing services to pioneer groups. With these products, cities can monitor and address difficult neighborhoods much better, real estate investors can get on board with promising markets early on, and retailers are able to identify optimum locations for their stores and businesses. So what's next? We're currently working on 3 pilot projects, 2 in Dortmund and 1 in Münster. But we would also love to be able to have 1 or 2 international or cross-border pilots, maybe even here in the area with Belgium or the Netherlands. So if you would like to work on a project together or have any questions later on, please get in touch. So thank you for now, and I'm looking forward to your questions.
Very nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your pitch, and lots of greetings to Münster and to the Digital Hub in Münster, so to your community. And maybe next time, next Meet the Startups, we will meet you here in Aachen. That would be very great. So it's time for the question fairies now, I guess.
Yes, so do you have any questions for Bottom Up City? Right now, I have a question. How do the pioneers benefit from your concept, and aren't they usually in conflict with, for example, real estate investors?
Yes, well, this is true. The pioneering groups usually are very not very happy to interact with investors in the neighborhoods. So by building this national platform, we're trying to, for the first time, give value back to the pioneering groups, which right now they're creating a lot of cool activities and projects which create a good upscaling impact for the neighborhoods, but they don't get anything back. And once the prices rise, they have to go away somewhere else. Using this platform, by selling the activities to investors, we can make the investors give something back to the community and, for example, offer better deals for locations and spaces where they can rent and access to resources.
So Chris from Brightland says that Maastricht could be great and interesting. So
yeah, Maastricht is a good, interesting case where this is happening. Basically, all the post-industrial areas like the rural area are absolutely target areas for this kind of process.
So maybe you can get in contact later.
Yes, we should.
So next question, what market segment are you targeting right now and your future scaling?
Well, we on one hand, we're selling these neighborhood platforms or development monitoring to cities. So this is B2A, the public sector, which is at first a little bit tricky to get into, but once you have cities as a client, they're very reliable. On the other hand, this is a classical B2B, so real estate investments, and the retail sector. So for example, Alnatura, chains like these who sell sustainable products, do want to know already in advance what the cool neighborhoods of tomorrow are going to be.
Great. What kind of customers are you looking for?
Well, we are looking for customers who do not only are seeking quick returns of investment, definitely. So we do not want to work together with real estate investors, for example, who just come, let's say foreign investors who just want to invest in a neighborhood, just wait 5 years for the prices go up and then leave broken territory. We want to work with investors and clients who have an interest in long-term development of cities.
So a quick last question, because we have still a little more time. How do you collect data about pioneers or locations?
So on the one hand, we just use standard web scraping techniques. There is actually a lot of data out there, but it's very scattered. It's a lot of small projects. One project I did by myself in the university 3 years ago. So we're just scraping all this data, which is legal as long as you don't overcome any security barriers. But then using this data, we are building up this pioneer platform where we're giving back resources, space, hiring possibilities to pioneers. And when they subscribe to the platform, we actually have the exclusive data source for the geo-based data.
Great, thank you. So you should afterwards get in contact with Keske and Brightlands because they have many ideas how you can support with the government or
yeah, that would be awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Back to the studio.
Thank you. We all grew up with movies where technology gets really intelligent. We all know Matrix, We all know the Terminator. And this all started with machines getting intelligent, with machines achieving more and more software development. So our next startup is testing embedded systems, systems which make your car smart, your fridge smart, your watch smart. And probably they're helping out the next Terminator or the next Matrix. So let's welcome Philip from MindMotive.
Hi guys, I'm Philip, one of the founders of MindMotive, a deep tech B2B startup from Aachen. And I'm here in the Digital Church to tell you about our product, our company, and our team. But first, let's talk computers. You're watching me talk to you on one right now, and it's probably a standalone device, like a laptop or a smartphone. Now, while these devices certainly have issues from time to time, they're likely not going to kill you. That changes, however, if we put a computer into a larger mechanical device. That's what we call an embedded system. And nowadays, these embedded systems run every part of our daily lives. They drive our cars, fly our planes, they manage our smart factories, and they control our medical devices. For software engineers, this poses huge challenges for the implementation of these ever-increasingly complex systems. One wrong line of code can cause a car to kill a pedestrian or a plane to crash on landing. That means if you're trying to do it right, you better do it right the first time. With our software tool RTest, we provide a best-in-class solution for efficient model-based embedded software testing and quality assurance. We enable developers to easily transfer software requirements into a naturally readable, yet incredibly powerful test language that is easy to understand and can ensure functional safety from the earliest stages of development, where the error correction costs are incidentally lowest. Our approach to embedded testing significantly increases product quality, while at the same time speeding up our customers' product development cycle. My three co-founders and I established MindMotive in January of 2019 as a spin-off from the chair of embedded software at Aachen University, after having been awarded an Exist Research Transfer Grant in 2017. Our customers are small suppliers as well as Fortune 500 companies from a wide variety of industries like automotive, aerospace, and medical technology. Our mission is to provide embedded systems experts with the tooling, knowledge, and support to make embedded development and testing easier, faster, and more comprehensive. To enable high-tech companies across all domains to design and deliver complex products to customers on time, on budget, and on target. We are currently a team of 6 full-time employees and several student assistants, and constantly growing. Just yesterday, we were informed that we have been selected as one of the top 10 startups in the region. If you want to know more about us and what we do, or if you think that you are the perfect addition to our team, feel free to get in touch during the breakout session or later online. On a final note, we are currently providing RTest free of charge to everybody who wants to use it in the development of ventilators and other medical equipment in response to the current crisis. Because as you know, we need a lot of ventilators all around the globe to be on the safe side. So if you know somebody who can make use of RTest, spread the word. Thank you.
Thank you for your pitch. And I hope you're already there, Philip, in the Zoom call.
Thanks for the Terminator analogy. I'm definitely going to steal that. That is actually trying to prevent that kind of future, but otherwise, yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to our question, Ferries.
Yes. Philip.
And more questions. So,
I'm starting right away with the first question. What parameters do you consider for quality assurance?
Well, what we don't actually consider anything because we usually don't know what the system is supposed to do. So the developers use our tool to define their own quality parameters. Usually you have some kind of requirement, and then you can use that tool to you can use our tool to check that the system works as you intended.
Okay, next question. How do you ensure system security?
Security is, of course, a big issue. What you usually have is you have a developer or a development team. Usually we're talking global teams nowadays. And these teams decide as a first step what they want their system to do. So if we're talking, for example, an advanced driver assistance system, we have certain requirements. For example, we want to make sure that the system recognizes a pedestrian or a cyclist and brakes if necessary. And that is something that you could test with our software. And the same goes for security. So.
Okay, and one last question is here in the chat. For MATLAB and Simulink only, question mark. I don't know what it is, but I think you do.
Yeah, no, it's a rather technical question, but yes. So first of all, you start on the model level with MATLAB Simulink. That's the first step of development usually. We start there, but we don't stop there. So we can also test generated code, and we can also run hill simulations. So hardware in the loop tests are available on DSpace, for example, as well. So we actually support the entire development toolchain.
Okay, thanks, Philip, and hope to see you later in the breakout sessions. And back to Ruslan and Magdalena.
Next part of this evening, I would like to start with a quote. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. And this is the spirit which brought us to this point. This is the spirit we live as ACE, as Digital Hub, as Casca, as Brightlands, as the Corner Campus. We try to achieve something greater, where we all can help out and grow above ourselves, getting more than the sum of our parts.
Well, Ruslan, I guess it's time now to introduce our Euregional partners. So first partner comes from the Netherlands, and his name is Bert. So Bert Schindler founded together with his buddy Paul Krutzen Keske. It all started in Kerkrade, and now their communities are also based in Maastricht, Pfalz and Heerlen. So let's see the nice video that Bert has prepared for us.
Hello everybody, a big greeting from the Netherlands. We're here at Casca, and I wanted to show you a bit what Casca is and what we're doing in those Corona times. Casca Q2, we have 2 Cascas in Kerkrade, we have 1 in Vaals, we have 1 in Maastricht and 1 in Heerlen, but we're here at the second place in Kerkrade, where we are focusing on Industry 4.0. Follow me, we'll take a look inside. Casca is a community where we combine technology, know-how and people, and we work in cooperation. So we don't only focus on startups, we want to start up ideas. And in Corona times, we try to combine things in a new way. Here is where we normally produce textile t-shirts. And for Corona times, we also make masks. For example, here, Deutsche Post. Casca is not only a workspace, but it's foremost an environment where we share technology, where we share equipment. So we basically work on hardware, software, front end, back end, and we work also on service. And with those elements together, you can combine any business model. It's great to be part of the evening with all of you in Germany and in the Netherlands. Next time we hope to meet each other again offline and not only online. You're always welcome in the Netherlands, your friends from Casca.
Thank you, Bert, and thank you, Casca. Our next partner we would like to introduce is Brightlands and Chris Sparks. 2 Meet the Startups ago, we were at the Brightland campus in Heerlen and had a really wonderful evening. It was the first Meet the Startup Original Edition, so I'm really glad to introduce Chris Sparks, and I also already had the honor to stand on the same stage with him and to moderate an evening with him. Chris, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody.
Live pitch, right?
Sorry?
You decided to have a live pitch, right?
Yeah, that's, I'll do it live, I guess. Yes, so to those of you who have not met yet, and to everyone else who I have met, I hope everyone's happy and healthy right now. My name is Christopher Sparks. I'm from the Brightlands Smart Services campus in Heerlen, but I also represent the Brightlands ecosystem as well. To those of you who don't know what Brightlands is, It's a series of innovation campuses spread throughout Limburg. So there's a large campus in Venlo that is dealing with agri-food and supply chain innovation. There's one in Sittard-Geleen that is dealing with innovation in smart materials and in chemistry. There's another in Maastricht that does medical innovations. And then in Heerlen, what we work on is smart services, or any human organization that can be optimized. What I do at the campus is that I work with the startups. I'm the head of entrepreneurial development. What I like to do the most, and this is for the startups that are in this program right now, is I like to help build communication and bridges between companies that are within our network with the startups that need them. So if there's anybody who needs some cross-border collaboration, for example, and I apologize for not remembering the name by heart, but the city planning, the neighborhood platform, I would love to see if we can work on putting you in touch with somebody from Maastricht and the government, if that would be interesting for you. But anybody who'd like to sit down, I'm always available for a half an hour or a 2-hour brainstorm session on building market access into the region. I also am here because we are partnering with Corda and Digital Hub for a digital hackathon called Unlocking Society that's going to run from May 11th to 13th, in which we are finding problems, real-life corona crisis-based problems amongst the Euregio, putting them up on a platform, digital bulletin board, or for the Dutch, a prick board, and we're opening it up for teams to come and hack away at these problems. Only it's a digital hackathon. Problems, for example, are how do we open up the built environments like office space for people to move back into them safely? How do we open up the outdoor space to make it so that people aren't infecting each other with coronavirus? And then things like how do we return from the autocratic nature of management that the remote working has forced us all into. There's a lot of very interesting challenges and opportunities in the hackathon, and I will put an Eventbrite link in the, oh, there we go. Thanks, Andy. I will double up on that. Thanks, bud. And I'll also put a link in there about the challenges. Guys, thank you so much. I need to say to the Digital Hub team, the production value is amazing on this. I'm really, really, I think you guys have done a great job. So thanks for your ears, everyone. And yeah, let's get to the next pitch. Enough from me.
Thank you.
Great, thank you, Chris. So yeah, we're very happy that you like our meeting tonight, because we like it too.
Yeah, enjoy it.
We're still here. So there are very kind greetings that also have us reached from Belgium. So Mark Beenders gives us a little insight into the Corda campus with his video now.
Hello, I'm Mark Beenders, Community Manager of Limburg Startup, and you can find us at the beautiful Corda campus in Hasselt. Unfortunately, it was very difficult to send Belgian startups to your event this evening, but I promise we will come back next year and then we will participate on the event Meet the Startups. I wish you a wonderful evening, and as promised, we meet again next year.
So I think now you got to know all our Euregional partners, and so we should have a look now at their Euregional teams. So they will have got 3 minutes for their pitch again, and there will be a 3-minute question round too. So yeah, I'm very excited with Euregional. I'm sorry, but you need to, Euregional, oh, it's really not so easy to say that. Rosland, can you say that easily? Okay, so let's see the teams.
Yeah. So I'm really happy that the teams from our partners are also sharing their ideas, because through sharing their ideas, we can grow better, we can develop our ideas. And the best ideas are the shared ideas. Because every time, you can imagine it like a diamond. Every time you share the idea, the diamond gets more valuable and valuable. So our first team is CodeTown. I think there are also live pitching tonight, and it's really interesting because they have the topic of smart cities and the people also designing the smart cities. Co-Town, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Hello, my name is Grégoire. I'm from the south of France. Hi, everybody. Hope you are healthy. Can you all hear me well, first of all? Good. So, bonsoir. I'm here to pitch you Co-Town quickly, so I'll try to do it in 3 minutes. At Co-Town, we are trying and we actually want to stimulate civic engagement and local economy within cities. Our aim is to provide a platform for municipalities where they can propose tasks and challenges to citizens. Then citizens can help the local neighborhoods by claiming the task and helping people in the neighborhood. They can earn local digital coins to be spendable in the local economy, only at some local specific partners. And we use blockchain for this with a new innovative platform which helps the citizen to spend their local coins. One coin is €1 at the local shops, and the shops can use the coins received by the citizens to be paid back by the municipalities. So it's a kind of alternative currency where the municipality is stimulating civic engagement and also local economy by having people helping in the local neighborhood. We know it's more than important during this kind of special time even. And now you can actually act for your city. You cannot just call your municipality and say there is something wrong. I can also see what is being asked by my citizen around my neighborhood. I can help them, be rewarded with a little local digital coin to be spendable in the local economy. And the shop, we know some local shops in the municipalities, they have issues with challenging times with the e-commerce. They are trying to also stimulate people to come and spend coins in there and spend money in their shops. So we also want to provide a platform for them where they can easily accept the payments, advertise the local products, and we create a kind of new local network within the municipality where government can really help creating an alternative economy and make people stimulating help and local economy. So we are now, I'm based in France, but we are based in Ireland at the Smart Services Campus, Brightlands. Thank you, Chris, for making me speaking tonight. We are 4 people at Co-Town, mainly myself and Daniel, 2 French partners, but also André and Marina, who are based in Netherlands. And we are now working with Ireland, the municipality of Ireland, to create the first local digital coin, which would be the Ireland, Ireland local coin. So I am available later on for the breakout sessions. And if you have any question for me, don't hesitate to look up at coton.io as well. Thank you very much, everybody. Merci.
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot for your presentation. And now I give back to the question fairies. Question fairies, do you have some questions?
First of all, merci beaucoup pour votre présentation. And now I switch to English. Are there already questions? Not yet. I have a question. Is your product already on the market?
The product is not on the market yet. It's it's in beta testing, and we have an exclusivity with the municipality of Ireland. So the idea is to develop it with. We have a grant now with local partners, Brightlands, Smart Services Campus, also local shop organization, local citizen organization. So we are really dedicated to making this happen in Ireland with great partners. And when we hope to have it ready by the end of this year with a live product going on. And when it's ready, we hope to come to Aachen and other cross-borders municipalities. Yeah. But it's not on the market yet. It's still in development beta mode. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have a question from the chat about the digital currency. Could you give us a bit more information about it?
So as I said, one coin is €1. So the idea is that the city can propose tasks and challenges. Let's say I want my citizens to help with cleaning the park at one point in next week. As a citizen, I can book the task because this park is next to my area. I can go and help to do this task. I will earn the coins attached to it. And one coin is €1. I can't exchange this coin For euros, I can only exchange them at local shops for special goods and services, which makes it also good for citizens and the shops because they can offer additional value for money. Instead of paying for euros, for example, if you pay with your local coins, you can get special deals and offers, or you could get access to also a better product or a bigger meal, for example, if it's in a restaurant. So yeah, that's how it works. And it's based on blockchain, which is this technology is here to make sure that the shops are not trying to fake and ask more amount of money to the municipalities in the end, and that the citizens are not also trying to fake the amount of coins they receive in the doing the task. Yeah.
Thank you. Do you have already a pilot with a city partner?
Yeah, I mentioned it. The pilot city is a city of Heerlen, based in the south of Netherlands, next to Maastricht, where the Brightland Smart Services campus is also based. So we have a good base ground and partners to start with the pilot.
Last question, are you have competitors and who are they?
We do have competitors mainly in what we call citizen request management. So people can report issues, participate to surveys with the municipality, but there are no such available platform yet where you can really incentivize, stimulate citizen engagement and also spend them at the local economy. Because what we see is there are some platforms where you can top up with euros to buy coins that are spendable later in the local economy, but you are not incentivized to act in the neighborhood to earn the coins. So it's a different, what we do is a different way of doing things compared to the competitors. One of them is named Kolu, it's an Israeli startup, but in Europe it's still unchallenged, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, it's a great idea.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening, everybody.
Thank you. And from me, back to Ruslan and Magda.
Thanks to both of you. And yeah, let's see what's happening later on in the breakout sessions. For now, there's the next startup. It's called Craft. And René, are you there? You come from Keske. So yeah, you will do a live pitch as well. So I hope I can find you now. Just give me a sign.
I hope you can all hear me.
Great. I guess everybody can hear you, so.
Nice to hear. Yeah. Unfortunately, Tom Luijten couldn't make it today, so I represent today Craft. I will start the pitch within 3 minutes, I hear, so I try to do my best. I will share my screen so I can also show something. First of all, short introduction of myself. I'm now 5 years self-employed as a web designer. I focus mainly on websites, logos, brandings, and graphic design. I also made the website, logo, and branding of Keske. And Keske, I'm there now maybe 5 years involved from the start. And it grows very fast, and there are a lot of subgroups founded the last months, like a hardware group, a software group, and there was also needed for a design group, and that's where Craft was founded. And Craft is not a startup company, but it's more a group with creative people who already have a company, or are still students, or even teachers. And they are all involved at the Keske community. This is the logo of Craft. And we have a lot of benefits of Craft. We are all part of the Keske community. We share our ideas, experiences, qualities, and network together. We are a flexible group. We have our own company, but we are not only reliable to Craft, and we're picking out the right persons for certain projects. And that all leads then to larger and successful projects. One of these projects is Venster. That's a digital window for elderly people in nursing rooms, where they can interact with the outside world and some places that are familiar for them. And now with the COVID, it's of course very booming. A lot of elderly people are isolated, and yeah, this will help them. Another project is for DJ Warface. It's a famous hardstyle DJ in the Netherlands, and he needed a helmet where the eyes of the helmet would interact with the music. And yeah, AC.E, one of the first companies of casque, developed a PCB, and Kraft designed the whole helmet. And yeah, Warface was very happy about that. And now the third DJ is already contacting us for something similar. I also want to mention the coffee project. We like to create an own coffee brand. It's for sustainable fair shake coffee. The idea is that, for example, on short term, that you take your coffee from your work home immediately to home instead of that you buy it at the supermarket. We are developing the branding, the packaging, and the coffee machine. This was the first draft 2 months ago, but we are already a bit further in the process, but we cannot yet show everything. Yeah, a summary is that we provide all creative designs like user experience design, logo design, and yeah, we like to be more active with the website and on social media on short term. But for now, you can all reach us via the Casque website. We are located in Kerkrade, Q1 location at Casque, and there you can also join us. And we are happy to see you. We are looking forward to meet you all. Cheers.
Great. Thank you for your pitch. So you really got me with that coffee. I love coffee and I really wanted to grab it out of the screen, but I couldn't. So, Ruslan, can you make me coffee, please?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I think it sounds like you're really creative people there, and you have also been at ACE.TV. So everybody who's interested can also go to the Instagram site from ACE and just watch your video and find you on Instagram. So I think now it's time for the question and answer round, and that means time for our question fairies.
Thanks, Magdalena. I also watched the ACE TV about craft, and that's why I was really looking for that pitch, because I think it's an amazing idea. And I'm going to start with the first question. Do you also consider designing cover pages for books and magazines?
Yeah, we design, of course, everything. We have a lot of qualities in our group. I do it, for example, with my own company, but all the ideas what are coming, we go through in the group, and everyone was excited to pick that up, picks that up, and mostly we make that a good choice and mix it. So yes, we do that.
Thanks. Okay, I can't see any more questions in the chat, but I prepared some myself. So here's a question from me. Has there been a big failure or learning outcome so far for you and the group?
At the moment, we are still young and it's only 2 months really active. So at the moment, not yet. Let's hope that that won't happen. But on the other hand, if it happens, I think it will be a good learning process and gives us a lot of experience on longer term.
Okay, but it's like the people who are in the group don't have to sign a contract or anything like this. So you can just stop working within the project, within the process. That would be a problem, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's a little bit of weakness, but I think we have all a very good work rate and a good relation. And there are some members who are really a bit the core of the group, if I say it correctly in English. And I think we correct each other well, and the atmosphere is very good, and that at the moment the group won't happen.
Okay, so as I can hear, you're not planning to build a company or something out of it?
At the moment, on short term, not, because most of us already have our own company. It's just more a group that brings us all together, so that we have even more qualities, experiences, ideas to develop even greater things. And that's all part and the connection of Casque.
Okay, thank you, Renee. If there are no more questions in the chat, and I see there are not, yeah, I have to say bye-bye at that time, because that was my last performance as a question fairy. And I'm sad that it's already over because it was so much fun. And yeah, but maybe I see some of you in the breakout sessions later. And yeah, thanks and bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. And I'm also a bit sad that
Me
it was
too.
your last performance as a question fairy. So our next team is as well from the Netherlands, Absolum. And I hope that they're already there, because actually I think they should tell on their own how they are supporting the startup ecosystem, how they're supporting startups, and what actually they are doing. So, Absolum, are you there?
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Really
awesome.
nice.
So yeah, I'm Wesley Nice, the owner of Absalom. We're a company that started from Bayer with deploying a very big application internally that managed all the ticketing for the entirety of Europe and eventually the entire world. We started as web designers and grew into a consulting business, and now that's just what we're doing. First, we started working for a lot of big multinationals like Intel, Huawei, Bayer, and Ragtime on either sales or technology consulting. And later on, we moved more towards focusing on startups when I joined Keske. And right now, I'm working together with I'm a student at Team Academy, and I'm working with them on a couple of projects where we're building programs for the students to develop master classes and to go around Europe to promote our school and the new way of learning. Mostly for my business is, and the reason why I think it became quite successful is because we truly just focus on what the company needs rather than what's usually presented, and to take care of every customer in a personal manner that they find useful, to create a personal bond that we can share and grow further as businesses, but also as partners and friends usually. Our services vary from just normal IT consulting to cybersecurity testing. Mediation is something we do often, where we sit in between two parties to negotiate a decent deal for both of them. We focus mostly on web development because we think it's the future of the ecosystem. And of course, because we have a lot of sales and marketing experience from big brands, we also implement this within other businesses as a sales partner or a marketing partner. And we are still building up, but already doing a lot of trainings at businesses. That's kind of it.
Great, thank you. I really enjoyed, or I really like it and appreciate it when people have a website which they can use as a pitch deck, because this is like a really high sign of quality of the website. And now I give to the last round with our question fairy, with our last question fairy.
That's me, yes, exactly. So there are new questions. How exactly does your company does mediation? What role do you play?
It depends on what company is asking us. So in the usual case is we are sitting on the one side of the party and we just provide technological experience and knowledge to make sure that they get the best deal they can. But in some occasions, it also happens that we get hired by two parties and sit in the middle so they don't bring toxicity into the deal.
Thank you. Who are exactly your customers?
My exact customers vary widely. Currently, we're doing a project with Convulgus in Belgium where we're developing, they've developed a desktop as a service model that can scale infinitely between businesses and makes it very cheap for startups to get a desk model where they get 2 computer screens, a keyboard, a mouse, and a Convulgus thin client, where they can work remotely or at the office anywhere securely. We're still working on the price, but it will be somewhere below 20 euros per month per user.
Okay, so next question. What is your main activity among the ones presented?
Could you repeat that?
What is your main activity among the ones presented?
Mine is at the moment currently mentoring. So what I usually do is I get a big project that wants to scale through Europe or a different country. I develop a planning for that goes in the always goes in the same stages. That starts with an MVP, minimal viable product, then moves on to an MVE, minimal viable effort, and then creates a critical mass. And from there on, instead of selling myself, I train up an entire sales team or an entire development team. That's what I do.
Thank you. So since there are no more questions, it's also time for me to say goodbye, and we see you later in the breakout sessions. See you.
Great. Thank you, Larissa. So I just said to Ruslan, I can't believe that it's already this time now to say goodbye to the question fairies and to the pitches.
So follow us on ACE, on our ACE Instagram handle. It's aachen.ace. And there you will find all the episodes of ACE TV. And if there are some startups listening, you can also write us and become a guest of us.
Bye and have fun.
Have fun.